Greetings, RC model geeks, and here we are in the shed yet again for part 37 of the Sarik Hobbies de Havilland, Canada Chipmunk build. No video yesterday. Just having to sort my mother out. She wasn't very well, so by the time that was all done, I just wasn't in the mood. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we glued the fuselage together. Brilliant. Looks great. So, today I thought we'd focus on the engine mounts area. Now, I've had a few comments about, oh, what motor are you going to use, and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet. I've got a couple of motors laying around. We'll see what they work like. The mount that I'm making, I can basically put any motor I want on there anyway, and adjust the length and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about what motor it is at the moment, as long as it's roughly the right size, etc, etc. So yeah, one of the first things we've got to do, we've got some wooden plates that go on the side here, and they are going to mount on like that, just to give the engine bearers here a bit of strength. So because we've made a hole here for the battery, there's no wood to there was originally a wooden block glued down here, but of course there's no room for that anymore because we've got a hole for a battery. So I've glued a block onto the outside of these ply cheeks, which is going to glue down there like that. And that will be completely adequate. And I've done two of them. Here's the second one. So they are going to slot in there like that, and give that front bearer assembly a lot of strength. Now, onto the front of that, for all those of you that have an aversion to clowns, it's the clown face. And there's two of them, double clownage. Now those go over the front here like that. Nice tight fit. Here's the clown. And they butt up to that that bit we just made. So they're going to sit in there like that. There's two of them. It's got to be doubled up for extra strength. So at the same time, I've also drilled some mounting holes here, to mount the motor. Now, originally on this plane, there was a massive silencer that sat in here, and that's why there's a big cutout. We're going to be using that area for putting the battery, hopefully. It might not need to go that far forward yet, we don't know. But we've got the facility to get the battery way up in this nose if we need it. Now, I'm going to mount 4 bolts off of here, and they are going to connect to another plate, which is this one here, that's got a motor on it. And they're going to bolt on there like that. And I'll show you that in a minute when I get to it. So we've had to keep all their mounting holes as high as possible because there's a big hole here. We could fill that in, but we might need that space, so we're leaving it. Now, the centre of the motor will be on the bottom of this engine bearer, on old IC motors, the centre line of the shaft of the motor is always on that point there. So it's the underneath of the original motor. So we know where the centre line is. We've got it there. And then I've just drawn a line down that way to give me a rough centre the other way. So yeah, like I said, I've made up this mount here. This is oversized at the moment. We're going to cut that down to a certain shape, but that is going to be mounted off on adjustable legs, so we can get our rough distances. Now we need approximately 180 millimeters from here to the prop flange of the motor. So we've got a hell of a long way to go out, you know, to yeah, I mean, it's right out there somewhere. So you can see you can get quite a lot of different motors in there quite easily. But it's one of the reasons why I use this plate, because it just allows us to tweak things a little bit. You know, and if I want to put a bigger motor, I'll just make a different size plate and bolt it back onto these 4 studs that are going to be coming out here. You'll see as it all unfolds. So, first things first is I'm going to glue these 2 plates together, and then I'm going to glue these side cheeks on. Alright, and then glue these 2 front plates to the side cheeks, etc, etc. I'm deliberately made these a tad long, these engine bearers, because you never know exactly where it's going to end up, you know, so we just sand them back slightly and that will all be wonderful. They actually don't get in the way anyway, but you know, for a nice finish we'll be sanding that flat. And then that mount there should be pretty damn strong. I don't think you'll be breaking anything off that. You'd have to have a really good old smash to you know, to break this lot. It's going to be very strong. Now somebody was saying about the cost of the old pilot here, and you know, these things are handmade. You know, they're not coming out of some Chinese factory where somebody's painting them for a bowl of rice. Well, you know, unless Roger's giving his wife a bowl of rice to paint them, of course. But yeah, you know, this all takes time. If you think about having to make this, because they're all individually made, you know, there's hours of work that goes into these things, painting them, casting them, etc, etc. And you know, they're all nice silicone. You know, they're not hard, cheap moulded plastic, you know, and of course you can adjust the head position, you can do loads of things with it. You know, so there's a lot of work that goes into these, and they're not made by Chinese people. Now, if we compare it to one that's made by the Chinese, which is this one here, now, I mean, he looks great, and I bought this as a 1/6 scale pilot. Now, I know the Chinese are a little bit smaller, but he's 1/6. And he's 1/6. Now, which one do you think's the right size? That's more like an 1/8 or something. Go away. So, you know, it's the quality you get. You get something that's actually the right size, and it's going to look good in the plane. Now, you might think, oh, I could make a pilot myself. And you know what? In the past, old Bixler Phil knew I wanted a pilot for a plane. And he said, Rob, I'll make you a pilot. And I said, oh, Phil, you're a star, mate. Brilliant. This is what he came up with. I think he's based it on himself, actually, in his younger years. Now, yes. So, this is what you could end up with. be warned. Be warned. Splash the cash. Get a proper pilot in your cockpit. Right. I'm going to carry on, get this all glued together. Come back to you when I've done a bit. Okay, so I would say I've been nipping along, but this is taking me most of the day to sort out. So we've got the side supports in there, all glued in, all lovely. And then I've made up this front part. Now the motor is going to mount in those 4 holes, and we've got those blind nuts in there for that, and then we can see them there. And this motor plate is spaced off with I think these are M5 bolts and nuts and washers and everything. You know, if you're bolting through wood, put washers on either side so that it doesn't compress so much, as you can see I've done there. So this front section will go straight on to there like that, and then the motor will be there. Now it's quite a good design actually, because the this wood here basically supports the cowling. So when this cowling goes over, and there's about sort of 6 or 7 mil overlap, the wood that's there, you can see it's just touching the cowling, so it's giving it some nice support, making it nice and rigid, because it's quite a thin cowling, that, you know, and if somebody grabs hold of that and squeezes it, you know, it's going to crack. So yeah, that is wicked. I mean, that is coming on quite nicely. Let's take that off. So yeah, as I said, the motor is going to mount on there like that, and we'll put a hole through for the cables to go through, I think, or yeah, we'll put a hole in there so the cables go through. The SC is probably going to sit somewhere in here. You know, get it forward as much as you can, and like I said before, the battery is probably going to sit down through there, but basically in from the fuselage and then through there. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see my fingers from there, but yeah, that's where that is going to go. So the next thing to do is glue this on. Now, the only place I could find to mount 2 of the mounting screws for this plate happens to be right where this this wood is. So I've had to put a couple of cutouts in there just so it clears it. I mean, they're never going to need to come out again anyway, unless we have a really hard smash. And if that's the case, there's going to be greater things to worry about than getting those screws out. So yeah, we're going to glue that onto the front. I've basically epoxied all this stuff just for, you know, speed and things, and I'll epoxy this front plate on, but that is going to be nice and strong there. So I'll mix up some more epoxy and get that on, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do next. But the fuselage is getting there now. There's not a lot more work to do on that. After this front section, it's probably about time to really think about finishing the wing and getting the wing seated on the fuselage. And then yeah, there's a few fairings and things that have got to go on the fuselage as well, but that won't be today anyway. Today we're just focusing on this motor mount front end. Now what I'm going to do, I've got I think I talked about this before, but I've got this aluminium spinner. Now that is completely wrong for this plane, in the form it is at the moment. But if it was chopped down to somewhere like there, the profile of this part is actually pretty similar to the spinner that goes over the prop on the Chipmunk. So we might put that in the lathe, spin it down, yeah, I think that's the way to go. And the way to secure this, see, it's got a hole in here in the end there. What we can do is probably bolt that. Well, I was going to say in there, this one's bent. I think I've got another one of these. This one's no good. This one's bent. But there's a thread down the middle of that, and that thread is there for securing spinners. So I think we'll basically end up doing that. Bolt down there into this shaft. We might end up making another one of these yet. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I thought the one I had wasn't bent. That's worrying if I've got two bent ones. Yeah, because I've given a few of these away to certain people. Right, there's another one. Is that one bent? No, that's a straight one. Yeah, there you go. So you can see it's got a hole down it, if it will focus on that. There's actually a hole down there with a thread in it. So we can basically tie those two bits together. So that's what we'll probably do. Whether or not I'll do that today, I don't know. It's starting to get a bit late now, so let's get that glued on and then see where we are. That plate is now glued on and everything is wonderful in the world. The other thing I've decided I would look at is the mounting of the cowling. Now I just had a quick look on the drawing, and it shows a bracket mounted up here with a self-tapping screw going into it. But we can do better than that, can't we? So yeah, I'm going to make a metal bracket here, and then what I'll do is I will silver solder a nut to it, so we've got a nice threaded hole. And then I made a bracket out of brass here, just with like a little joggle in it, nothing exciting. A couple of holes in it for glue, plus a hole for where the nut is going to be silver soldered. Then we'll put a slot in there, and we'll basically glue that inside and sticking out there. So we've got a nice threaded hole for mounting there. There'll be one on the bottom as well down here, and there'll be one on the sides on this plywood bulkhead. So those will want to be I could either slot that, or I could just basically make a 90-degree bracket, same kind of principle, and mount it off the sides. So the ones on the front ones are mounted off the sides, and the ones at the back are top and bottom, and that's what holds the cowling on, just 4 screws. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably finish them tomorrow. It's getting a little bit late now, things to do, errands for my mother, etc, etc. Getting tired. So yeah, but we're getting there now. This is really coming together. You know, that's going to slot on there like that. That looks brilliant. Yeah, it's getting closer every day. I'm not bored of it yet either. It's quite an enjoyable build. It's nice to do like a bit of engineering on stuff, you know. rather than just following these you know, stick A to B kind of things. It's good to use the old noggin to work stuff out, look at the full size, see how they did it on there, etc, 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 see if you can copy it. So yeah, there you go, that is it for the day. So yeah, have a look at Sarik Hobbies. You know, it's because of them we're doing this. It's good to support them. That's SarikHobbies.com. See what they've got. Don't forget the big shed fund. It's coming along nicely. Things are underway. Hopefully some news very soon. The location of where the shed is going to go, it's on a farm, and I'm just waiting for the final sort of permission to come through. It's owned by two brothers who don't talk to each other. So you know, one said yeah, that's cool, and he's got to talk to the other brother. So once that is finalised, it's, you know, full steam ahead on the new shed, and that location will have somewhere to fly as well, which is really good. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next video, hopefully tomorrow. We've got a week of rain. It's raining now for those people that like the weather forecast. And yeah, see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you for watching Captain Rob's RC Model Geeks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button. If you want to see more of the same type of videos, don't forget you can subscribe. If you want to support us, you can use PayPal, paypal.me/RC Model Geeks. If you want to contact us, you can email us rcmodelgeeks@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.